Well, good morning, and I hope you're well. Anthony has asked us to share a little bit about the Scottish Baptist College, and in particular, how we've addressed the restrictions of the COVID-19 lockdown. But before we go too much further, just thought we'd do some introductions. So my name's Graham Meikle-John, and I'm a lecturer at the Scottish Baptist College. I've been here for 5 years, and so far it's going well. I live on the south side of Glasgow.
Hi, my name's Chris Townsend. I have just completed my third year at the Scottish Baptist College. I'm a ministry training candidate and I'm in leadership at Strathendrick Baptist Church, which is in Balfron, and I live up on the east side of Loch Lomond.
I'm Lisa Ewart. I'm a second year student at the Scottish Baptist College and I live in Ardrossan.
Hi, I'm Christina Ritchie. I'm a first year student and I'm from a town called Stewarton in East Ayrshire.
Great. Anthony has asked us to try and sum up the lockdown in one word, which isn't easy, but we'll give it a go. I've decided that my one word to describe these past couple of months is challenging.
Mine would be unreal.
Mine would be adjustment.
Mine would be reflective.
And as we think about these words, I wonder if each of you could maybe share with us a little bit about why you've chosen them, and also a bit about how the lockdown has impacted your personal lives, but also how it's impacted your life studying at the college.
I was looking at my calendar a little earlier on, and it will be on Friday, it will be 10 weeks since I have been more than 4 miles from home. Given where my family lives, in a remote spot up by the loch, the nearest place to me is a tiny village called Balmahar, and I've driven down there twice to collect dinner when they've done takeaway. So what I'm really saying is I haven't left this forest for 10 weeks. That's over 2 months. And it's very, very strange. That's why I say unreal, because although I'm used to living out in the countryside, I'm also used to commuting into Glasgow to work, or over the last few years into Paisley to college. And for me to be out here, it kind of has the feel of a post-apocalyptic drama. All I've got is people on the news talking about coronavirus and lockdown and long queues at supermarkets. And I've seen all of that on TV, but I haven't experienced any of it myself. So there's a strange disconnection between my life and everything else that's going on. Everything that I see and everything that I hear is mediated via a website or a TV screen. So in the middle of all of that, college has been something of an anchor, and I'm kind of sad that it all actually finished. We had our last meetings last week, because for the duration of us doing college via Zoom 2 or 3 times a week, although it was still over a screen, I would be able to actually interact with people who I know, and people who are my friends, people who I like to talk to, people who I like to listen to. And that was kind of like a grounding for me in what has otherwise been a very, very strange experience. Studying, once we got past the first 2 weeks where everything was about camera angles, webcams, technology, broadband speeds, and all the rest of it, and I've basically got no work done whatsoever. But once I got past the first 2 weeks, studying has kind of worked. I'm competing for bandwidth with a teacher and 3 school pupils here at home, but it kind of works. But there is still that niggling sense at the back of my mind that the first time I'm allowed back into civilization, or the first time I have reason to drive into a town, I don't know quite what I'm going to do with myself. And maybe normality will seem unreal about then. Anyway, unreal.
So my word was adjustment. And literally, you know, as Chris said, it's been 10 weeks, but in the space of 24 hours, what we classed as normal and routine and accepted suddenly got thrown into chaos, and we had lockdown. And so in those 24 hours, I had to adjust to a new way of living. I have 3 teenage children, 2 in academy, 1 in college. And suddenly I wasn't just their mum and a wife and a student, but also then became a teacher on top of that. And so this period of adjustment where not only I was having to teach them their education and maintain that, but then also chase my daughter in college to make sure that she was doing her education, I then had to adjust to a new way of learning for me, where I wasn't sat in a classroom with students that you could have that theological debate with. And trying to have a debate in a classroom and a debate through a computer screen is 2 different things. And so learning for me became an adjustment, a new way of doing things. And so, yeah, I don't think even after 10 weeks, I fully had it nailed and sorted and everything else. It was a day by day, hour by hour, moment by moment, trying to adjust to this new way of living. So that would be me. It was an adjustment.
So this lockdown has brought a time of stillness for me that I wasn't really expecting. I've always kind of lived my life like go, 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 everything needs to be done right now. And when lockdown happened, all of a sudden everything stopped and I was forced to be still. And this time has brought like time to think and time to reflect, things that I didn't know that I needed to think about and things to reflect on. But this time has definitely been a time, like a trialing time, because like things that I'd been pushing down in myself, things like thoughts and feelings were forced to come out. So I've been forced to think about that. And luckily I've got some like nice nature walks around, so I've been able to go out and listen to the birds and watch the river and just be in nature and just be still and listen to God and see what's happening there. But yeah, it's been a really, really reflective time for me.
Thanks, Chris, Lisa and Christina, for sharing your stories with us. As we start to wrap up, I wanted to kind of reflect a bit further on my own word, challenging. And I think challenging is an interesting word because it depends on the context that you use it. Yeah, it sometimes has negative connotations, that something is a challenge and it's tough and it's difficult. But then sometimes challenging is good, that it was worth the effort or that it was stretching. And I think often academia learning is meant to be challenging. It's meant to be stretching. It's meant to help us develop our understanding, to strengthen our faith. And I think we've kind of learned something of that this term. There's been a challenge. It's both been tough at times, but it's also helped to develop us. One of the things that I think we hold very dear at SBC is our learning community, and the emphasis is on the word community. And it's difficult to do community in lockdown when we're not face to face in the same way. And that has been difficult, that has been a challenge. But within that, there's also been times where it's helped us to look at community in a different way. I think it's given us small opportunities to develop our community. Through the lockdown, through doing teaching online, I got the opportunity to be introduced to Chris's children, for example, who were at home at school while Chris was in class. Or when we were sharing some social time, having the opportunity to actually just share our lives a bit more. I learned that Christina spoke Gaelic. And then I think we've been able to journey with one another in a different way. Lisa didn't say, but you had suspected case of COVID-19, and that was a challenge for you to continue to study while being unwell, but hopefully we were able to journey through that with you and cheer you up. At least I hope we cheered you up in some way. And so we've done community in different ways. We've had different opportunities to develop our community and strengthen our faith through journeying with one another. So yeah, it's been a challenge, but even within that challenge, there's been moments of hope. And I think that's what I've taken away from these past couple of months. Thanks for listening to us, and I hope that's given you at least a little bit of insight into life at the college. And we thank you for your continued support and prayers as we continue at the Scottish Baptist College to equip people to participate in God's kingdom through mission and ministry.
Bye.
I fell into the lap of SBC, I guess. It was a very natural progression.
And just felt that'd be really good to do.
This is really the place to be.
We're located in Paisley, part of the University of the West of Scotland.
To validate our Bachelor of Divinity degree. The students get the benefit of being part of a modern, vibrant university campus with all of the facilities that are available here.
We enjoy the community atmosphere at SBC.
Not only in class but outside as well.
I love the fact that we have some older students and some who are very young, just fresh from school.
We expect good things to happen in that community.
There's a wide variety of things that we study here.
We don't just study the Bible on its own, but in relation to wider topics and wider ethical issues.
We try and give a broad range of teaching experience and context. We want to best prepare our students for what they might do next.
My hope is to become an RE teacher.
Cross-cultural missions.
Do a master's.
Youth work.
Pastor.
It's a beginning of an exciting journey.
It's a great experience.
The sense of family that's here, the atmosphere.
And everyone can learn together and really experience life together.
It's so worth it when you get there.